What's going on, everyone? This is your boy AshTheMan. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's talk about My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 74, Lemillion. That's right. This episode is named after my man's Muriel Tagata, my favorite hero. But let's definitely jump into this and definitely let's talk about this episode and the things that transpired and the things that we should look forward to going for after the episode. Now, first off, let's get this out of the way. So the League of Villains, they was able to lure the Yukaza at that time that's able to morph like the walls and everything. They kind of like forced him to come out, reveal his position so that Mr. Eraserhead could kind of like, well, kind of not like, but was able to take his power, neurify it. You had Dooku, who was able to zone in on his position, and then you had Sir Night Eye that was able to take him down, in which he pretty much pointed it out that pretty much he was kind of like set up by the League of Villains. So the League of Villains is definitely done with their own objective, but it's kind of weird though, because when you look at the little flashback that they had in the episode where one of the guys from the Yukaza was able to use his quirk and make them tell him his powers, they all told him that they had no intentions or no plan to betray them, and they all said no, we don't. But then this act happened, so I'm guessing, if you piece things together, they must have had like some type of information that was passed on to him for Tamari, and they was able to kind of like bypass his quirk in a way. I'm not sure how they would, but definitely this seems like more of a plan from the League of Villains to be able to bypass that. But nevertheless, we turn our attentions to Tagata because he was able to catch up with Overhaul and his followers. Now, the fight starts off where Tagata pretty much was, he basically was nullified in a way because one of the guy's quirks is able to kind of like make the person feel, under the influence, so he's not at his best. But Tagata, when I say my man's was giving them the business, he was giving them the business, going through the walls, knocking them out, going through here. He was giving my man's Overhaul the beat down that I think you just didn't want to give somebody. But in Overless, he pretty much, at times we thought he was corny, he always found a way. But in the terms of this, when it comes to being a villain and being a hero, you get to experience something that you don't get to experience, and that being that the person you're trying to save may be put into danger, and you have to put your body at risk to being able to overcome the odds. And sometimes that may not just be enough. It may not just be enough. And as much as Tagata plan was going good for him, his tactics, his fighting, everything was going fine. But when my man's aimed that eraser quirk gun and shot it at old girl, he threw himself in a way so that she wouldn't be able to experience that. Because right now, they don't know what her quirk is or how it works. And it could be something that they could use later. She could be a valuable hero. You never know. And he threw himself in a way in which, at this point, they established that they got the eraser drug going. And just to dive more into this, and not to try to stop it, but apparently in this over much time, months and years at work, they were able to create 5 capsules. Now they said it takes a long time for the facility that they at, so the plan that they have in motion was not only to move in time for the invasion, but to move to a better facility so they can produce more of this eraser drug at a higher mass, because they're only able to do 5 and it took them months to do this. So they plan on stepping their A game up to produce more than that. So, and the first bullet was used on Tagata, and at this point he cannot use his quirk after he got shot. But even with that, my man was still giving him hands, doing what he got to do until the last scene. You see my man get stabbed by what Overhaul quirk is, being able to disassemble and reassemble things on the fly, and he was able to make a ground spike and stab him in this right there in the side of his torso. So yeah, I can't wait to see how the next episode folds, because this episode, not only did we get like more information about like what the League of the Villain, intentions may be, how the heroes is faring up against the odds, how did, what this drug, is it a permanent, does it last for a long time? We don't know. We don't know how perfected this drug is to last. Is it forever? Because for one that we know is that when Sun Eater got hit by this drug, he couldn't use it for some weeks. And that was probably maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before the operation, and he just not being able to use his powers. So with them having it perfected, does it last for a longer time? How is it going to stand? We don't know until maybe a few episodes, maybe next season. We don't know. But however, I just want to say that this episode definitely was a good episode. Like I said, a lot of things opened up to us. Other questions present itself, with some getting answered. So definitely want to see what next episode looking like. So I just want to thank y'all again for definitely tuning in to this week's episode review of My Hero Academia, episode 74. And if you guys can, definitely help your boy out, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button on the side. Leave a comment. How do you guys feel about this episode? Just tell me in the comments below. Definitely appreciate it. Other than that, AshTheMan is out. Peace.